I'm back to tell the truth, channel. Please like, share my content on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Excuse me. And what other content that y'all go on. I appreciate that very much. I am in Jesus and Jesus is in me. All right. My father want me to speak on some things about my life and I what I have seen in my life. Excuse me. He want me to speak on this. Okay, so this is what he want me to talk about. Now, when I was um, living in the projects, and it was this dude. He was around my age because I moved in the projects when I was 23 years old, and I met my me and my husband. We been together. We was together for 2 years. We was to together, and I think I was what, like 18 when I met my husband, and we was together for 2 years, and then we got married. And we was married for 38 years. And excuse me, somebody trying to stop me from speaking. So we was together for we was married for 28 years. And when I moved in the projects, I was 23 years old. And it was these people that lived in, a lot of people, when you live in the projects, there's a lot of people living in the projects. But it was this man and this woman, excuse me, they really trying to stop me from talking. It was this man and this woman. And the dude um, that was 23 years old, he's the same age I am. We both grew up together. We both grew up together. Went to school together and everything. So he was dating this woman, and this woman was in her 50s, going to her 60s, and he was only 23 years old. And I have never heard nobody bring it up to him or this woman that he was dating about their ages. If they did bring it up, I never hear nobody in the projects talk about it. Because when you live in the projects, everybody got something to say. Everybody got something to say. If you hear one person gossip, it's gonna spread all around the buildings. It just take one person to gossip and to get around the whole entire neighborhood. So I never heard nobody gossip about this man and this woman. Even though he was 23 years old and she was in her 50s, going in her 60s, they loved each other. They didn't care what nobody said if they did, which I ain't never hear nobody saying nothing about it. Nobody never talked about it. Nobody. Because I never heard nobody say nothing. Because, like I say, in the projects, people always gossiping. They always got something to talk about. So, I never heard nobody speak on it. This woman had kids the dude age. She had kids his age. And I can't say if he made a play at her kids or not. I just know that her kids loved him, and he loved her kids, and his family loved her. They walk out there in that world like nobody else didn't exist but just them two. Like God just made the world for them two. He didn't see nobody, she didn't see nobody. They was just them two together, walking in the world. And by this dude being in his 20s, other girls was throwing themselves at him, but he was blocking that. He was blocking it like, I don't care. I want who I want. And he didn't have no eyes. He only had eyes for that lady. He only had eyes for her. Even though he was younger than her, he had eyes for her. He didn't care about what other people said, think, or nothing. He just had eyes for that lady. Only had eyes for her. And I was like, whoa. Like, whoa. And I never spoke on it. I never, said nothing about it. Even though I saw them together, I never said nothing about it. Nothing at all. Because look, me and my husband, like I said, when I was married, we was together for 30 years. My husband is 9 years, he was 9 years older than me. 9 years. And people was on our backs telling us that it ain't gonna never work out. Y'all ain't gonna never be together long and all of that. And me and my husband was together for 38 years, even though people thought that it was never gonna work out. but we but we stayed together. But people already had it in their back of their mind that we was not gonna make it. They was saying all that stuff. And but with this man that was 23 years old and this woman is 50, nobody didn't talk about is they gonna be together and all that. Did nobody bring that up? If they did, I didn't hear none of that. They was just walking out there in the world doing them. And it was like nobody else didn't exist but just them two. And like I said, her kids loved him and his family loved her. And it wasn't no bigger about it. Everybody was just living their life and they was happy. And like I said, and I know it was women's coming towards that dude. But he probably was blocking it. Thank you, Father. He probably was blocking it. He probably was blocking it. Now, I can't say if he made a play or not. I don't know. But I know every time I saw them, they was together. And nobody was not coming between that. That man didn't care. Every time you turn around, it was him and her together. All the time. They was together. And if people tried, I ain't heard nothing. Because like I said, the people in the projects always got something to talk about. They always got to gossip. Every time they wake up in the morning ready to gossip. That's where it was back in the projects, honey. Yeah. So, like I said, that man only saw her and nobody else but her. He had eyes for her and he didn't care about what nobody else said. He was just with her and he loved her and she loved him and they didn't care about nobody else. So that's what I'm saying. If you in a relationship with somebody, regardless of how old you are or how young you are, that's between you and that person. Don't nobody else have the right to put a judgment on who you date, who you want to be with, because they not the one living that life. You and that person is the one that's living that life, and don't nobody have the right to say nothing because they not around y'all. Y'all around y'allself, and don't nobody got no right to put their dependent or whatever in nothing. So if you love somebody and that person love you, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. Just like they do. They walked on that earth. They walked on this earth like nobody else didn't exist but just them two. Like God just made the world for them two. And they didn't see nobody else but them. That's what they saw. And that's what y'all got to think about. Y'all got to stop thinking that, worrying about what people think, because people ain't the one got to live your life. You got to live your own life. And you can't be worried about what people think. Because if you keep worrying about what people think, you're going to always be lonely and never have nobody. If you keep worrying about what people think, people going to do them and you got to do you. If you feel that something is right with you and that person, no matter how old that person is, no matter how young you are or whatever, if you love that person and that person love you, that's all that matters. Nobody else ain't got to deal with that. Only you and that person got to deal with it. What y'all do behind closed doors is y'all business and nobody else business. What y'all do out there in the world is y'all business and nobody else business. Don't even worry about what people think, because that's just all jealousy. They want it too. They just ain't gonna tell you that, but they want it too. If they see that you and that person is happy, enjoying y'all life together, They want the same thing. That's why they trying to shoot it down because they want it too. And you can't let nobody stop you from being happy. You can't let nobody do that. Y'all have to live y'all own entire life. God done brought you in this world and God gonna take you out. And that's what y'all got to think about. You came in this world naked, you gonna leave this world naked. You came in this world, God made you happy. You need to stay happy and don't let nobody stop you from being happy. You come in this world to have peace, love, joy, and happiness in your life. Don't let nobody stop you from having the peace, the love, the joy, and happiness in your life. Where whoever you choose is who you going to be with. If God choose that person for you, that's who God wants you to be with. Be happy because God ain't going to put you in a situation that you cannot get yourself out of. He's not going to put no storm on you. He's not going to do that. That's not the type of God. That's not what God would do. God ain't gonna never give you something that you cannot handle. He gonna give you something that you can handle, and he's gonna make sure that you happy in what he give you. That's what y'all got to think about. When God give you somebody, be grateful and thankful, because God ain't gonna put no more on you that you can't handle. He gonna give you somebody that's gonna love you and you gonna love them. That's the way it is. And that's what it was with that dude and that woman. They was meant to be. That was her soulmate and that was his soulmate. And they was meant to be. And nobody couldn't break that down. Regardless of how old he was, how young he was, and how old she was, nobody could not come between that. They did not let nobody stop them. Nobody. And that's what y'all got to think about. When you love somebody, the hell with what other people think. The hell of what they think. Just live your life to the according to the way you want to live your life. Don't worry about what people think. Worry about what you think and the person with you think. That's all that matters. That's what y'all got to think about. Thank y'all for listening to me. Jesus love you. Father love you. The Holy Ghost, the angels, the ancestors, and I love y'all. And I will be back to talk to y'all again soon. Y'all have a good day and a blessed day. And one more thing. Like I said, with me and my husband, we was together for 38 years. And people thought it wasn't going to work out. But it did. For them 38 years, it worked out. It worked out. But he was not my soulmate, which I thought he was, but he wasn't. But we still was together. And people thought it wasn't going to work. But it did. For a time being, it did. So, that's what I'm saying. God did not put that together. He did not. Because if it did, it would have been still together. So he didn't put that together. But that dude and that girl, that lady and that man, it was meant for them to be, and they didn't let nobody break it up. So that's all I want to say to y'all. Thank y'all for listening to me. And I'll talk to y'all again soon. Again, y'all have a good day and a blessed day.